I think we're live. Or I think I'm live. Is anyone there? I haven't opened YouTube, so I don't know. No one's here. No one's here. I will just talk to myself for a little bit. No one? Hey! Hello. Hey guys. Hey, Chesney and Petals on the Paving Slabs and Katie and Big Bruffy and Beth. Hey, welcome to our spontaneous live. And Jane. Hi Jane. How is everyone today? Let me know how you're getting on. It is about 7:15 here, and we've had quite a full day and we're about to have something to eat. So before that happens, I thought I'll pop on and say hi, because I was supposed to edit a video to go up today and I didn't because it's been too busy. Hey from Ireland. Hi Laura. You doing okay, Katie? How am I? I am good, thank you. As I said, been keeping busy, really enjoying doing some things, some projects at the moment. Hey Dean, no trolling Dean. Okay. Yeah, we've been really busy, haven't we? Beardy Doodie's here, but I've had to position the camera so that you can't see him. Say hi. You can at least wave.
Hello.
He's there. You've been down the allotment today, Jane. That's good. Hey, Spotted Duck Homestead. How you doing? And you're going to be a good boy, Dean. Good. He is invisible, and Dean is waving at you. No, you need to wave. You can put your hand in and wave or something. See, he is there. I'm not making it up. So, to be typically British, how is the weather with everyone going on? We have actually had some rain, thank goodness, because our ground was just horrid. Just got up to your chat at 6:20 in the morning. Now that's dedication. Thank you for joining us. Hey Cheryl, how you doing? I think you sent me some photographs earlier, and I've not had a chance to look at them yet. Have you got new lambs? Was there two? A big one and a little one? Is that what I seen from what popped up on my screen? Warm but drizzly, wet. But we need this rain, don't we? I don't know about you guys, but our ground has become really compacted and dry, and it's really hard to just you can't even get a hand trowel in. So we needed this rain to soften things up so that we could actually start planting. If it carried on like it was, it would be awful. So Dean's been at work today in my bedroom since 8:15, and I've got to head to the plot soon to water the greenhouse and tunnels. You can work from home, Dean? I thought you were like out on call kind of working. Well, that's cool that you can actually work from home. You've had days and days of rain and finally had sun today. We've had those like sun showers today where it's really sunny but like torrential rain at the same time, which isn't bad. The sun kind of lifts the spirits, doesn't it? Oh gosh, we've got a visitor.
Hello.
It's been hot, Spotted Duck Homestead. Hey, Gone Potty Gardening, how are you? So hot you had to take your jumper off, but you're desperate for rain. Have you not had any? So,
Hello.
you've had triplets, Cheryl, triplets. Wow. So you're hand rearing one of them. We really did need the rain, yeah. What have you been up to today? Here, look here, the camera's here. It's like down here. We've not propped it up very well today, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, that's that's us live, but the camera's actually here.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at nothing.
So, what have you been up to today? Go on, tell them. Rue has been a land girl today for a photo shoot. There's a castle not very far from us, and they usually do for events such as like VE Day and things like that. They usually do really big special events in the castle
Oh,
and
thank
in the
you.
castle grounds. But because they can't, then one of our neighbours is actually, she works there, and she's their storyteller. So instead of going to the actual castle and having a big public event to do that, they're holding it online. So today we did a photo shoot for Rue based on VE Day, and you were a land girl, wasn't you?
Pew pew.
Pew pew. Pew pew is Rue's new thing to say. Off she goes. Oh, you can work from home, Dean. That's cool. Rue's gone again. Sorry. You loved her outfit today, Katie. I loved it too. She borrowed the trousers off our friend's daughter, who is 16, and Rue only had to roll them up once. That's how tall she is right now. Rue's picture is fab. It really is. I'm really proud of it. So, yeah. And we actually ventured out today. You know, lockdown, just travelling a short distance seems like you're going on holiday. We had to travel to our nearest city because we've been sewing things for the NHS, like mask extenders and mask headbands and like uniform wash bags and things, and we had to take them over to Birmingham Children's Hospital, and just driving down the motorway, which was quite deserted, wasn't it? And then into Birmingham city centre, which was like a ghost town, but it honestly felt like we were on holiday. Just like getting out of the house, finally. It was nice, wasn't it? Yeah, and it's good to be able to deliver those things to people. So yeah. So what have you been planting? Has anyone still got things to sow, things to plant? It is crazy how quiet the roads are. I do find that there are more people on the roads though in this last week, is it, do you think? I think people are becoming a little bit complacent. Whether we need to be complacent or not, I don't know. But I think we should be adhering to the lockdown, and a lot of people seem to be around more. So you've lost so much sleep recently that I actually told my mum and hubby yesterday I'm a year older than I really am. I did that. Last year I thought I was 39, my birthday. I told everyone I was 39 and I wasn't. I was 38. So I've had 2 years of being 38, which is great. I get that. Your lockdown is drooping again, so hopefully we've had it pretty good. Great. Am I planting out now? Not yet. I am. Well, I've had all of my tomatoes in the cold greenhouse for about 3 weeks. First of all, I was opening the door, or Beard was opening the door around midday, and then closing it again about 6. So that it held some of the heat in overnight. But now we're actually leaving the door open about halfway permanently. And I do have some tomatoes that are outside, and they've been doing fine. They're just like my testers, what I call my sacrificial plants. I will always have like sacrificial plants. So it's just a gauge to how the weather's been overnight. I'll be putting my tomatoes out in about 2 weeks, but I'm going to hold off until like towards the end of May for things like squashes and beans and things like that. So I'm not planting out too much yet. You need to plant some turnips. You need to pull your finger out. I'm not a big turnip fan, but I found a variety called Snowball, and if you grow them to like the size of a golf ball, then I found that they're actually quite tasty. But once they got bigger than that, they got that traditional turnip flavour, and I wasn't a fan. So what variety do you grow, Chesney? You've got to sow your courgettes again, Katie. The slugs got them. Was it like when it first started raining that the slugs came out? Because we've been so lucky with this dry weather that we didn't have many slugs, did we? And as soon as that rain came, I've seen a few people like, oh no, they've all been eaten now. You need to do a second planting of squashings and courgettes as a backup, as the first ones didn't germinate. Oh, some didn't germinate. I've only had one type of squash that hasn't germinated yet. I don't know if you see my picture on like Instagram and that. I'm overrun with squashes at the moment. I've planted them too early, and because I'm growing extra to give away, and that I've grown a lot. How many do you grow? Petals on paving slabs? How many do you grow? Petals on the paving slabs? Can you tell me your name? Because I always want to call you Stu, and I don't know if that's right. Like Stuart, I don't know if that's right. So that's why I'm just calling you Petals on the paving slabs. But I am terrible with names, so I'm sorry. Just sowing pumpkins and squash today. That's good timing. In my Facebook memories, it popped up that this is when I usually sow my pumpkins and squash. But I sowed them like 2 weeks ago, and now they're taking over our spare room. So planted your sweet corn out, needed the room in the greenhouse, finished a tunnel for it, and some plastic the husband found from somewhere. That's brilliant. Great. Kiwi Backyard Gardener, were you looking at crops for winter? Cabbage, silver beet, broccoli, garlic at the moment. It's silver beet, that's like white chard, isn't it? What we would call chard, but it's the white version. Is that what you call silver beet down there? Hey Green Raven, how are you? And yes, you caught our live. I'm not going to stay on long. I just thought I'd just try and catch up with you. What I'm trying to do is get used to just doing these kind of spontaneous lives and you know, seeing if anyone turns up, because I want to get used to doing more scheduled lives. But this way I don't get as many people. So yeah, I'm getting used to it. So I'm glad that you could join us. Happy Beltane. Yes, happy Beltane, everybody. And to Cheryl and Camp Canine Daycare. So yes, happy Beltane to you too. You have snowball turnips. Good. Never grown them before yet. They're really nice when they're small, but their flavour does get quite strong if they're growing bigger. Hey Jonas, thank you for joining us. Yeah, it's Stu. Good. I'm glad. I actually got somebody's name. I got his name right. I got your name right. I'm pleased. You've got about 15 varieties of courgette and squash. Do you have a lot of neighbours that like courgettes and squash? Camp Canine Daycare. That's a lot. Are you growing them all yourself? Your name's Dean and you have a sunflower problem. How many sunflowers are you growing, Dean? I thought your problem was growing giant onions or too many onions, because Leslie was like, no more onions. You planted honey nut squash. No idea if it's hydro, but I hope it grows true. Honey nuts. I haven't grown that one. I've grown honey boat. I haven't heard of honey nut. Chard and any colour chard as well is called silver beet. That's good to know. I have more viewers than... No, I don't. Shush. I am really nervous on lives. I don't like, I'm not very comfortable with doing this, but having all you guys here and you all being so lovely does help. So yeah. What else we got? Have I grown Jerusalem artichokes and when can I expect to see some growth? They went in March. I have grown Jerusalem artichokes before. I saw them came up because they're a relative of the sunflower, so if they are already in the ground then they'll probably start coming up about now, or in the next couple of weeks. Some varieties flower. If they don't flower before they die back, don't worry about it. My one's never flowered. And then after the plants die back, after the frosts, that's when you can start digging them up, but they store quite well in the ground, so they can stay there till about January, February time if you want to store them there. You've grown 110 sunflowers, Dean? That's like me with my tomatoes. You're like the equivalent of me, but the sunflower grower. Are you doing Nick's sunflower challenge? I want to do his challenge, but I haven't filmed any of the sowing seeds. Hey Michelle, thanks for joining us. Hey Vegetable Gardening, nice to see you here. Stu, no, I'm not imagining everyone naked. No, that's just wrong. It is Naked Gardening Day tomorrow, and no, I won't be taking part. But I absolutely applaud those who want to do it. You're much braver than I am. It's also quite cold. It would be crazy. So no, I won't be doing that. You're still debating doing it, Dean. As I said, I think everyone's really brave if you do. And I'm just going to leave it there. That's all I'm going to say. You're in Maryland, America. Your frost date is April the 15th and your artichokes have just come up. Yeah, it's usually after the frost date that the artichokes start to come up through the ground. So yeah, that's a good point. I thought I do like you giving plants away, but I had some Holmes cream and jam and thank you card and a big box of Maltesers back as thanks. That was so nice. That's lovely. That's lovely. I do find that you can give things away for free as much as you want, but then you'll open your door and there'll be some chocolates or something there, because people always do like to say thank you and give things back. So that's really nice. I'm glad that you got those back. Oh, I could just eat some scones. I probably need to make some scones now, or scones. Scones or scones. You have lots of sunflowers on the grow too. On the go, grow. You know when I mumble in my videos, I do that in real life too, all the time. Yes, do Nick's sunflower, half of the seeds are for it. I actually have a load of seeds from Nick that he gave us at the Malvern show last year. I need to get them planted. You never know, I might actually have a winner in there. It's hot in the polytunnel. Yeah, it gets really hot in the day, but then the temperatures are still dropping at night time, aren't they? And that's what makes me nervous about things being in there at overnight if it's really tender. Like, I wouldn't put my peppers or my courgettes and that in there yet. It's too cold for naked gardening day. It really is. Yes. Hey Brian, how are you doing? Glad to have you here. I wish we could enter some of your competitions. We could do I wish we could enter some of your competitions we could do here in the Southern Hemisphere, but they over before we start. Oh, I see, like the sunflower competition. That's the problem if you being like the opposite end of us, aren't you? You're back to front. Shall we say back to front? Yeah, you're the opposite way. You gave eggs and you got jam. That's a good trade. That's a good trade. You've been supplying your whole allotment with plants as they just go out and buy theirs. They're giving me packets of compost in reward. Compost in reward? That's like gold. That's like the holy grail at the moment, isn't it? So that is a good trade. We'll be doing, well, if you are part of our Facebook group, Alternative Smallholding, then you will know that we're doing our free food project. So because we live in like a little villagey area, there's a lot of, like, shall we say, older generation people who usually go to places like garden centres either to buy seeds or to buy up plant starts or to buy their compost, and they haven't been able to. So what we're doing is we're growing those for them. I need to actually film an update, don't I, on what we're actually doing in the seed starting. And we brought some gorgeous peat-free compost from a company called Earth Cycle, and we did have a little bit of a problem with them. Well, not with them, but the warehouse shipped the wrong compost, and so Earth Cycle actually sent us the right compost for free. So now we have a good topsoil to amend all the soil for the extra food that we're growing, and we have all the things to pot on all of the seeds and everything that we're growing for other people. So it's absolutely fantastic, and you guys have supported us to do that, and I'm just, it's great. And I don't want anything back in return off people, but obviously when you open the door and there's something there for you, you can't, there's nothing you can do about it. It's like, oh, you're all getting ahead of me, look, you're all chatting. You're in pain, Brian? What's up? It's ongoing condition. I'm sorry you're in pain though. Your problem at the moment is finding netting. I don't know any scaffolders, and obviously lockdown is an issue. Don't need to buy netting. Do you have any net curtains anywhere? Obviously not the ones with the big holes in, but find net curtains. They work great. And you can get it off eBay, but it is quite pricey. At the moment I feel like the prices have gone up everywhere, which I think is actually quite out of order. That people see that things are in demand and they're putting all the prices up. It's not fair. So I hope you can get hold of some. Ask around if anyone's got any net curtains that don't have big holes in them, and that works just as well for keeping off pigeons and cabbage white butterflies. And fine netting also works for keeping off things like alien moth and things like that. But I don't think you have that down like at the end of the earth where you live, do you, Katie? You live at the end of the earth. You're on the south coast and courgettes and pumpkins are outside. Yeah, that's a good point. You need to think about where you are. I'm in the Midlands, like right in the heart of the UK, and as I said, I'm holding off planting them. But if you're further south, then you know your climate and you And yeah, you
Hello.
probably can put things out now, but the further up north you go, then I'd be more cautious. Da, 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 da. No, naked gardening day in the Highlands of Scotland, Cheryl, is not a good idea. Not at all. What's my favourite tomato? Oh, how long do you have? That's a hard question, isn't it? Can I have 10 favourites? Okay, what's your favourite tomato?
Spoon.
Spoon. Ruth's favourite tomato is Spoon, you know, that tiny, tiny little one that we grew last year. That's one of my favourites too. I also really love Black Crim. That's one of my favourites. Rumi Banjan was a yellow one that had the most amazing flavour. Emerald Green Cherry. Amethyst Jewel's good. Oh, I don't know. There's so. Oh, Kosovo is my favourite, like big tomato. It's like a paste tomato. It's an ox heart. But it's really good for slicing and using on things like sandwiches. It's good for just chopping up and using in things like fresh, like curries and stews. But also it makes the best sauce when you put it through the my passata maker. Really good. So yeah. But I like that kind of flavour of dark tomatoes. That kind of really rich, smoky flavour. That's my favourite. Supply and demand, Dean, it's business. It is business, but it still makes me grumpy. I don't like people putting up prices, especially when people are trying to do things like grow their own food and they're trying to help themselves a bit more, and then companies are taking advantage of that. I don't like that. So it said, "Hey Roo," but she's gone again. She's got her headphones on again. So oh no, she said pew pew back at you. Please, can I ask Roo if she would have been a land girl if you were living in that time? So, in the war times, would you have been a land girl, or would you have been fighting in the war, or a different job? She would have been a land girl. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, she would have been a land girl. You want to grow a giant onion here, but we don't get the seeds. You don't. Your seed regulations are very, very strict. They're very different to here, aren't they? Oh, Katie. Holding off buying anything new. Really want to find used. We'll look for net curtains. No allium moths down south. You have carrot root fly. See, we don't have much carrot root fly, or at least I don't. I've never really had a problem with it. Tigerella is a great tomato, yes. Cheryl at Homestead in the Highlands, she's on here as well. She sent me some Tigerella seeds last year, and they were very, very nice. I am blushing and stressing. You grew a giant pumpkin to 12 kilograms. That's impressive. I've never been able to grow big pumpkins. Hey Monty, my family garden, our famous friend who was on Gardener's World. How are you doing? We've got 29 people here. For me, saying I was going to do some kind of impromptu live, that's like... So, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. My hair matches my wall. Yeah. Our wall is like a really dark emerald green. My hair, you see my roots? Yeah, that really needs sorting out soon. My hair is turquoise, but yeah, it blends in well. And my cardigan too. I have a problem with green. I like it too much. Where am I? Quick stop in, Monty. Thanks for joining us. It's appreciated. I know you're famous now and you've got all these things to do, so it's appreciated that you stopped by. Beady Dude's laughing. You want to wave to Monty?
Hello.
It's Beady Dude saying hi. You've took on more commercial chickens, so I could supply my daycare clients with eggs, as they're hard to get. That's lovely. That's really, really nice. One, for the chickens, because they need rescuing from that caged egg hell, don't they? And they can enjoy this lovely summer with you. But also the eggs are really nice to give out. It's a really lovely thing to do, so thank you for doing that. Your biggest pumpkin last year was 7 kilograms spotted up. That's still good. That's still more than we've ever done. You're getting ready to break your fast, Monty, so you can't stay long. That's understandable. Okay, fair enough. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Tracy. Welcome to our live chat. Your picture is missing. My picture? Or someone else's? And which picture? Don't know. In New Zealand, we don't have carrot root fly here. We grow our carrots free of netting. I grow my carrots free of netting, but there are a lot of people who have fruit fly. What kind of pest, like vegetable pest, do you have in New Zealand though? Because we have, I think our greatest pest here is slugs and cabbage white butterflies. What do you guys think? Is there something else that's worse than that? Hi, hello from Slovenia. Welcome, that's wonderful. I keep telling Bearded Dude I want to move to Slovenia, don't I? If we move anywhere in the world, I want to move to Slovenia. So thank you for joining us. It's lovely to have you here. Hey Kelly, how are you doing? Kelly of Kelly's Kitchen Garden. She's one of my favourite people in the world at the moment. She's really helped us out with our Sewing for the NHS project. Logan, come here. Come on. That's not a climbing frame. Oh, cats. So the picture behind me, yeah, it's an art comment or something. I brought that frame a long time ago, from like a vintage antique shop, and I was going to put something in it, but I thought I like it like that. What was I saying? Yeah, Kelly, loving Kelly at the moment. Your house lamb has just woken up, Cheryl, and he's trying to get out of his basket. They shouldn't leave him in the living room with the dogs. I would love a house lamb. I would really, really like to have a house lamb. That would be really cute. Well, I don't know. Would it? Sheep can be trained, they can't they? Like cats and dogs, they can be trained to use like a litter tray thing. Apparently, I've told Bea to do that a few times. He's not buying it. Apparently, we cannot have a house sheep. No. No. See you, Katie. Thank you for joining us. Ice cream time. Oh. I'm not an ice cream fan, but I could eat pistachio ice cream. Thank you for joining us. You get pop-ups from the year before, so you get volunteer tomatoes. I have never had a volunteer tomato. Oh, have we? I don't think we've ever had a volunteer tomato. But then it's quite possible this year, because a few of our spoon tomatoes and that fell down. And we've had a really, really mild winter, so we might get them. I do have an empty picture frame behind me, Cheryl. Yes, you've pointed it out before as well. Slugs at home in the garden, but not so much at the allotment. Sorry, I'm just reading. Sorry. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh gosh, I'm way behind. Slugs and white butterflies and snails in your garden. White butterflies are so beautiful, but they destroy, their eggs and caterpillars destroy brassicas, don't they? I always planted like cleome, which I did grow this year, and I don't know what I did, but they all died. So I'm quite sad. It's going to be my first year without cleome for a long time. And nasturtiums, they attract the cabbage white butterflies away from your brassicas. So you can either plant them next to them or a bit further away, and they go for those instead. So that's what I'm doing more of this year. Dean says there's a portrait of the bearded dude in the frame, aka Mr. Invisible. Sit up and say hello. No? No, he's not having it, Dean. He's not joining us. Move to Slovenia, not Scotland. Yeah, I don't think we can be friends anymore, Cheryl. Of course we can be friends, silly. Yeah, there's something about Slovenia that I really, really like, so I'd love to move there. And Scotland, I can't grow enough tomatoes, and you keep saying, you know, there's heated greenhouses and polytunnels, but it's just not the same. I want to go to Slovenia. Autumn spring makes a point. If you're a gardener, you should check yourself for ticks regularly, and because May is Lyme disease awareness month. That's a really good point. I've never been affected by them. I know people who have, and our pets obviously get checked. Well, my mum's dogs. especially in long grass areas and things like that, because Lyme's disease is not, it's serious, it's not something to mess around with, is it? So yeah, if you're gardening, especially in long grass areas and things like that, if you've got wildlife area, then do check yourself for ticks and wear long socks and things like that. They might eat tablet. I don't know what Stu and Cheryl are having their own conversation now. Yeah, Kelly has made rhubarb and mint cordial, and I think I'm gonna have to have a go at that. Is your mint like big enough to harvest already, Kelly? Gosh, I'm getting really behind now. Your whole polytunnel has volunteer tomatoes. Be great to see what kind of varieties they come up out. So did you grow just one variety or did they cross-pollinate? What's that, dude? I've got a pop-up on. What's that? Sorry, give us 1 second. What is it? Just. Okay, it's gone now. Kumara. What's Kumara? You've harvested your Kumara and sweet potatoes. You guys, they say, they got too dry, so not as big as other years. What is Kumara? I've never heard of that. You've got a few volunteers in your homemade compost because it didn't get hot enough. Good point with nasturtiums, yeah. But the best thing about nasturtiums, though, as well as growing them for like detracting the cabbage white butterflies, and because they generally look beautiful, but and obviously the leaves in that are edible, but you can make the best like nasturtium jelly out of them, which tastes like honey and sunshine. And this year I'm going to try and make a nasturtium flower wine. That's why one of the reasons why I'm growing so many nasturtiums, as well as some for my friends' wedding and things, because I figured if like dandelion wine, because of the pollen density in dandelions, is so good. Nasturtiums have great pollen density as well, which is why the nasturtium jelly tastes so good. And I figured, well, you know, let's try some wine. So I'm going to do that. You used to have a family that kept a house rabbit and used a litter tray and chased the dog around. Yeah, rabbits are really good at being house trained. We have some at the farm, and even in their runs, they have these little like litter trays in the corners, and they use those. It's incredible. A month after your fox attack, your Brahma cockerel has turned a corner. Really good news. I'm really pleased about that. And he can feed himself as of yesterday. Brilliant. I'm really pleased, Tracy. Have I tried the cordial with something strong enough to run a car yet, Kelly? Oh, has Kelly tried the cordial? Strong. I imagine, Stu, that rhubarb and mint cordial with things like gin and things like that would be really nice. Oh, Kumara is the Maori word for sweet potatoes. That makes sense. Okay, thank you for explaining to me. Nasturtium flower wine sounds good. I don't know what the colour will be like, because I'm growing a lot of different types of nasturtiums. I've got some that are like a milky white colour, your traditional orange and yellow, and then I've got some that are like really, really dark, like virtually like black velvet red. And I want to do like different batches of jelly with each different one. But I don't think I'll have enough of one particular type to make a whole gallon of wine. But I guess we'd be able to tell from the jellies how it would turn out if it was a wine. Hey Arkansas Woodcutter, nice to have you here. This was a very impromptu live that I thought I'd stay on for about 15 minutes, and we're now 35 minutes in. Hey, I can't read your name, I'm sorry. One of my favourite people with your burgundy background and cartoon character, I'm sorry, I can't see your name, but welcome, and it's lovely to have you here. You've been with us for ages and you always leave the best comments, so thank you. You've got plants to do nasturtium jelly, to Kelly. You've got lots of plants. Your plants that you sent me some seeds, they've come up really nicely. I need to pop them on now because they'll be going out quite soon. My garden and the dinosaurs who live there. Hi, how are you doing? We're doing okay. I just decided to do an impromptu live because I was having a chatty mood today. I've got to go in a minute because we are having our Beltane feast, and we're going to watch what's the film called? The Greatest Showman. Never seen it, not my type of thing. I'm not really into musicals. I do want to see Six, the musical, the Tudor one. But I'm not a musical person, but really loves them, and the people across the road have given us the DVD to watch in lockdown, so we're going to do that tonight as a nice family movie. Yeah, capers from nasturtium seeds. I've tried it. Not a fan. Not really at all. Yeah, Stu, have you done what do you call your videos? It's not the Secret Lights for Plants. Is it the Secret Lights of Plants? Tell us, Stu, of Petals on the Paving Slabs, what's the name of the series that you do, because terrible memory, where Stu goes through and he chooses a particular plant, and then he gives you history on them and explains things. So you haven't done it yet, Stu. Well, I think you need to do a nasturtiums one. So, is someone singing? Yeah, it's probably Rue. I can just blank it out now. But yeah, she sings and does all sorts. Was you singing then, darling?
Pardon?
Was you singing?
No.
She says she wasn't. You're not a musical fan either, but that film was amazing. Good to know. Gherkins or pickled gherkins. Could just do those. The Meaning of Plants. That's the one. Stuart of Petals on the Paving Slabs does a great series called The Meaning of Plants. I just wanted to say thank you for your video from starting a YouTube gardening video with you and Rue in the forest. It got me started filming my allotment. Good to know. We've seen a lot of videos like how to get started on YouTube, and they're really long and overly complicated. So, welcome back. And we just wanted to do some nice little simple tips, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember filming that? That was like over a year ago, wasn't it? It was a while ago, but yeah. So I'm glad that you find that useful. If there's anything else that people want to know, any videos that you want us to make, then like tell us in our YouTube group or a Facebook group and things like that. Sorry, one moment. My garden and the dinosaurs. Your chickens really calm me. Looking forward to having my own.
Hello, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Hello.
You love my foraging videos. We need to do more of those. I mean, it's hard on lockdown. I mean, where we usually forage isn't that far from us, but where we wanted to do our main foraging video, I actually did a video on foraging wild garlic, didn't I? And it was actually quite a funny video, but then it was so long past after I'd filmed it, I didn't feel like I could put it up because it was like a time sensitive thing because of wild garlic. I might still edit it and put it up. Did I make the comfrey use video? No, I didn't make a specific video. I didn't make a specific video. What I did is I broke it down into a couple of videos and just talked about them. But I can do that. My comfrey's coming back up now, so I can make a my comfrey's coming back, so I'll make another video on that if that's what you'd like to see. We have a poorly chick. He's got a blocked crop. Is it sour crop or is it like impacted crop? Jed. Wild garlic is lovely. It really is. I absolutely adore it. We've got a little bit in our garden at the moment. A friend gave us some bulbs from her garden when they were overgrowing, and they've just been sitting in a pot outside. It's only like about 3 or 4 bulbs, but some flowers have come up, and I've been picking a few flowers and putting them on my salad. And you're eating your salad, and then all of a sudden you get this like massive pop of garlic. It's really good. You've discovered a whole forest of hazels. That's amazing, and just not fair, to be honest. Can you grow comfrey from seed? I think some types you can, but most of them I think you have to do from a root cutting. Some people, I don't know. Are there some that you can grow from seed? I'm not entirely sure. If Dean is still here, Dean knows something about comfrey, doesn't he? But I think mostly it has to be done by root cuttings. Bye, Big Ruffy. Thanks for joining us. I'm actually going to go in about 5 minutes or slightly less because, as I said, I need to cook. So, yeah, comfrey fertiliser and your own worm wee. Comfrey's great. I mean, is it the saying that you use nettles as a feed before something flowers and then comfrey afterwards? Am I getting that right? You germinated borage seeds. Borage is fantastic. I find that it gets... I've never used it as a mulch, but it is a great plant. I just find that it gets a bit scratchy because they get a bit big and they self-seed everywhere, but they're a beautiful plant and the bees love them. Wild garlic is lovely. It really is. If you find it a bit pungent and hot, I dried some in the oven. I put it on, say, 50 to 70 degrees in an oven for, it was about 3 hours, I think, until it goes crispy so you can crumble it. And then when we used it after that, it lost that really spicy, pungent thing. It actually went a bit sweeter. So if that you don't like that spicy, pungent flavour, then that's a nice way to use it. And we use it on pizzas and things like that now. Oh, excuse me. Hey, Ashley's allotment. I realise I don't have any mods on here at all, so I'm having to mod things myself. You've got a lot of nettles, yeah. Nettles, you're picking the nettles and eating them as well. I keep meaning to do it, and I haven't done any for a while. Wild garlic pesto, absolutely. You love our live stream, and keep up the great work with your channel. Thank you very much. Comfrey is great when fruit is forming, tomatoes, yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, use comfrey when things are flowering and the fruit is forming, and nettles before that to establish leaf and root growth, isn't it? I can't seem to message people, only chat. Do you mean that for on here? Okay. Right then, I am going to say goodbye. We've got 33 people. 33 people watching. Do you want to come and say goodbye, Rue? I need to go and cook dinner, guys. It's been an absolute surprise to see so many people join us, considering I just said, right, I'm going to pop on live for 2 minutes. I will get used to these lives at some point and be less rambly.
Goodbye, everyone.
So yeah, we're going to head off now. Are you going to wave?
Bye-bye.
Good? He is there, I promise. Stick your head over a bit. Come on. There he is.
Hello.
He's not
Bye.
invisible. Yeah, so we will see you all soon. Thanks for joining us. Give us a thumbs up on your way out if you can, and join us over on our Facebook group, Alternative Smallholding, if you're not there already. So, yeah, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you soon.
See you soon.